Welcome to Japan Seikatsu. I'm Ian. Today, let's speak about the work experience requirement when applying for an MBA in Japan. Let's get started. Well, is work experience actually required before applying to an MBA program in Japan? The short answer is most often yes. So most programs, if you look at them, they require work experience. It's usually about 2 to 3 years, but there are some programs that don't require it. But what I want to speak about today is why having this work experience will benefit you regardless of the requirement. Reason number one is it results in a higher post-MBA salary. And the reason is twofold. So first, as you're getting work experience, you're developing skills that have value in the marketplace that help you earn a higher salary after graduation. Also, in Japan, a lot of companies will base your salary offer off of your prior salary. So if you're coming out of undergrad, you're not going to have anything to base it off of. Where if you have work experience and a prior salary, that will help just up the salary offer that you get. Secondly, you'll get much more out of the MBA education. And the reason is because you're going to be studying business. And a lot of that is going to be through the case method. So you're studying different types of organizational problems, business problems, and then with your classmates coming up with potential solutions and discussing that. If you have work experience, then you're better able to understand those situations, those dilemmas, and propose reasonable solutions. And remember, it's quite important in the job search to use the faculty network at the MBA program. And so being a class member that is making contributions to the discussion is quite important to building the relationship with faculty. So the more work experience you have, the more you'll get out of the MBA program and the more you'll be able to contribute. Number three is you'll have more career clarity. Through the work experience, you'll have more wisdom about what type of industries you like, what type of jobs you like, and that will be a huge help to finding the career that matches you after graduation. Number four is improved finances. The more time that you're working, the more time to save, to invest, and if you're like me, pay down your student loans. So when I went to my MBA program in Tokyo, I had worked for 6 years. That allowed me to pay down a lot of the student loans that I was carrying from undergrad and also save, which made the MBA possible. Number five is very important if you want a job in Japan, and if you want a job connected to Japan, it's quite helpful. And that is the Japanese language. If you're doing work that's connected to Japanese, that's a huge benefit. And by working a few extra years and getting your Japanese language level up, that will be a key skill that you can then sell in the job market as you're looking for a job after graduation. So in my case, I had worked for 3 years in the US at IBM, no Japanese exposure, and then 3 years on the JET program in a rural village in Shikoku teaching English, lots and lots of Japanese language exposure. So I really got to beef up my kanji, my grammar, my vocabulary, and that was a big help when I was searching for a job in Tokyo. So another benefit of work experience is that it's an opportunity for you to improve your Japanese. Now, even if you're not in Japan, it's still an opportunity for you to take the time to do self-study. As you get older, especially if you have a family, life gets quite busy and you don't always have that time. So if you have the time now, take advantage of it, improve your Japanese. Finally, number six is that skills that are in need can make up for a lack of Japanese, to my earlier point. So as an example, I had a classmate from India who had work experience in the pharmaceutical industry. after graduation, even though he spoke very little Japanese, he came to Japan with no Japanese, he found work at a pharmaceutical company in Tokyo because his skill sets in that industry were so valuable to the Japanese company. Now, I'll also add that I think he had the right mindset. He was anxious to learn and started learning Japanese. He now is a very strong Japanese speaker. But during the hiring process, they were flexible. They knew that in time he could improve his Japanese, and he had the skill sets that they were lacking. And so it was a perfect match. So having some skills that you're harvesting from that work experience can help you overcome other areas, for example, if you're lacking in Japanese language. On a final note, any type of work experience is fine. It doesn't need to be in business. It can be at a nonprofit. It can be in education. So I had worked in business for 3 years, but directly prior to the MBA, I was teaching English on the JET program. I had other classmates that came from education as well. So the work experience doesn't need to be business. A lot of these benefits, all of these benefits that I spoke to earlier, you can accrue just through work experience. Well, I hope this was helpful. As always, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to join the Japan Seikatsu community. We are a growing community that is passionate about Japan. Well, thank you.